This recording is going to focus on the Education Attainment Report in the EPIC Project Report section. Once you are logged into your dashboard as an EPIC user, go to the bar graph looking icon and click that. It will take you to the reports page. Then inside of the reports page, look for the Education Attainment Report. This is going to compile information for you based upon the customer's application and then any achievements that the customer has attained during their time in EPIC. You will select your local office. I'm going to pick Mid-South. And then you will select the agency that you want to pull the customers from. I'm going to select a safe haven. Then click Filter. The list will show all of the customers that were assigned to that agency from this particular office in a list. Then you can select by clicking the checkbox the customers for whom you want to print the report. If you export the customer list, it will give you all of the customers from that agency for that office. So for example, this list includes 63 people. So the exported list would include all 63 people in that list. My suggestion is to export the list so that you can keep a paper checklist of sorts for your customers who you have printed and who still need to be printed. Once you select customers, the report will print up to 20 people for you at one time. So click the names of the people that you want to print the report. And you'll notice that the numbers will show you 5 of 20 have been selected. Then you can print those selected items. So I'm going to click Print. It will generate the PDF documents for you. I'm going to open this file just so that I can see the reports and show you the result of those reports. We'll make this full screen. On here, it's showing you the customer's name, their last four of their social, their date of birth, so you can compare to make sure that you have the right person, local office, the CBO agency, whether they were treatment, control, or new cohort, the self-identified highest level of education from their EPIC application. So this customer reported that they were a college junior, the date of the EPIC application. Then it shifts into tests that may have been performed for this customer. If they were an early customer and participated in the NOCD tests, those results will show here with what the percentage was for math, reading, and writing, and the date that it was completed. Additionally, if a customer took TABE tests and then took skills gain TABE tests, those items would be included in this assessment result section. If they took another test other than a TABE, those tests are also being added in here. Perhaps the agency only gave a locator test, so then those items would be put in here. And if the agency entered any notes like what the results were, those notes are here as well. Followed by vocational credential attainment. It will tell you how many credentials or certificates were included in that section, and it will give you the credential type, the description, the credential source, when the credential was received, who the provider was for that, the agency provider for that certificate, and then who the institution was that certified that credential or provided the training for that certificate. Then the last piece is the educational attainment certificates. This is any education that the customer may have received during their time in EPIC as well. The documents will be here in a group format. If you know how to print from a PDF, you are welcome to save each of those documents as their own document. But what also happens is on each customer's file, on their progress page, the report generates to the customer's profile page with a note about what it is, and then an automatic case note is added that says who generated the report and when it was generated. DHS has asked that you copy and paste this case note to the customer's profile in IES, wherever you're going to keep those case notes. So copy this case note and paste it to the customer's profile in the DHS computer system. Additionally, you can open this document right here from the customer's file and then File, Save As, wherever your folder is. I believe it's the N drive. So then you would save it to that folder with that customer's name and then upload this file to that customer's profile in IES as well. That is all we have today for the Education Attainment Report. I'm going to pause the recording for a moment. All right, Deidre is asking, can the local offices generate the reports from all CBOs for all of their customers at one time? No, you must pick one agency at a time to do the filtering of the customers, and then so if I do Mid-South and I don't pick an agency, let's see if, no, we have to pick by agency. So you can filter by agency and office. I see Lubna typing. Leanne has her hand raised. Are the reported? No, each customer that was part of EPIC will receive a report. Some of them may have less than others, but each customer who was assigned, who was randomly assigned either control or to treatment or was part of the new cohort, each of those customers will have one of these reports. And as you can see here in the, let me make this just a little bit bigger. As you can see here, it does tell what assignment group the customer was, treatment, control, new cohort. I will have to check on whether or not it can run it all at one time. I don't know that, I don't know. I will have to check. I see a lot of people typing, so I'm going to give this a couple of seconds here. We pushed it to production on Wednesday, and if you're not seeing it, I will have to double check to make sure why. You know, like I said, you have to go to the reports page and look for the Education Attainment Report. Now, we are currently following up with all of the agencies to make sure that the TABE scores have been entered and that everything is up to date. So you might want to give it just a couple of weeks because not everybody has had all of their TABE scores entered. I just got to my last agency this week to make sure that they're getting updates included, all the TABE scores that they have included in there. All right, I will double check to see why it's not showing up for you. Are you saying that you don't see the report, or are you saying that you're not seeing any customers once you run the report? Remember, you have to actually click print to generate the report. So the reports don't just automatically show up. Because you have to check the checkbox here. Then when under progress, as you did in the demonstration, nothing was there. Okay, so when you went to the customer's profile, you weren't seeing it on their page. All right, so let's, what I'll do, Lubna, what I think we'll do is after the call, can you call my home office number? Let me type it in the, I'm going to log in as you, with you on the phone with me, and I'll see what it is. And we can, you and I can stay in the webinar just so that you can see what I'm doing. But I am going to dismiss everybody else once we're done, and or anybody else that wants to stay. But and then I need you to dial in so that you and I can actually talk. Dial me. Deidre, you're welcome to stay too. All right. Are there any other questions about this? I'll refresh your screen first. That's a Deidre answer. Can you answer South Loop's question about how soon should they have their reports uploaded to the customers in IES? We've given the agencies until the end of January to complete this. So that's why I'm saying go in, export your list of customers so that you know who's done and who isn't done with their reports, because new cohort customers might be done and some of the control group people might not be. So check on that. The customers don't have access to their profile now. The customers don't have access to their EPIC profile. Leslie, I'm assuming that the ECR is where you're going to be putting this, and they want the document along with the case note so that it says who did what with that report. I don't know the answer about the WBS. The information for the attainment report was input by the CBO. And then you have to generate the report for the customer's file on IES somewhere, either the ECR or WBS. I'm not quite sure which. I see several people are typing right now. Yes. 29. All right, Deidre, you should be up.
Okay, hi everybody. We did talk about this on the EPIC call on Monday. These documents are required per Food and Nutrition Services, the federal government. They are to be uploaded into the ECR and WVS. In terms of the deadline, Juanita Sanders has been communicating with the regional administrators. I will reach out to her and have her communicate the deadline to the regional administrators who can communicate that deadline to your LOAs. Are there any other questions?
South Loop asked when would be the best time to pull report after we refer customers to the CBO after they have completed orientation with CBO. This is a report that needs to be run for every single one of your customers that were referred. In many cases, the CBOs may have all of the information in. The only way that you'll be able to know whether or not it's there is once you print your reports and see if there's any information entered. For example, I just completed my data review with Leslie Bates Davis Neighborhood House in East St. Louis, so they won't be ready to go. But many of the other agencies have been alerted to the fact that this needs to be done, and my suggestion to you is to just run a few from each of the agencies and see who's got it done. I know National Label is probably good to go. Many of the Chicago agencies are good to go. But if they don't have the information in there, you'll have to check back.
So Leslie, are you asking for instructions on how to upload a record into the ECR in WVS? Where's the ECR located? IES? I guess I'm asking now because all of you were on the call, and Leslie, you were too when Juanita was talking about this. Was it unclear at that time where this information was to be uploaded?
South Loop just said WBS upload was not working the last time they checked. And I apologize, Leslie. I don't know how to operate WBS at all. So, Deidre, do we need to potentially facilitate another webinar where we can do a visual demonstration of doing this for WBS, where I can have you or Juanita or somebody doing the actual screen demonstration?
I think we'll have to, because I don't have access, and I don't know how this information is uploaded. Ms. Sanders was on the call, and it was my understanding that she said this information would be uploaded into the ECR.
Okay. All right.
And she seemed to feel that the offices would know how to do so, and that all we had to do was provide the document for them to upload.
Okay, so Vicki is saying in Peoria they only use WVS for TANF customers, and only TANF caseworkers have access to WVS.
Okay, so Dee, when this is over, I need you to send me all of these notes that are coming up on the screen so I can send them to Juanita for clarification. Thank you.
Sure thing. All right. All right, so now my question becomes, do I need to stay on the phone with Lubna in the webinar so that we can test this out as Lubna? Or should we get this clarified about the WVS and ECR stuff before we push them not having access to this?
Well, first, who's typing from South Loop? It just says South Loop, not a name.
Type your name in the chat pod. Latrina.
Okay, so Ms. Silas says to everyone, this can be uploaded in the ECR under the title of the WVS document. So Ms. Silas, do you have access to this, and does everyone have access to this?
All right. So if that's what we need to do, so Chris just said that's what most of us do. We upload the ECR using whatever title is appropriate. You mean whether it's SNAP or TANF? All right. You just went DHS above my head there. Okay. All right.
So now is
we need some clarification, don't we?
Yeah. So now is the question. So you're able to upload. So is the question, where would it go? Mr. Mc. Okay, so when Mr. McMorris finishes, Dee, like I said, please send me all these notes right away, and I'll get clarity. And I'll let you know if there's a need for another webinar.
All right. All right. Sounds good. All right.